What really happens behind the scenes when Jimin attends a massive fan event? And why did a BTS bodyguard once share both funny and serious moments about protecting him on location? Fans see the bright smile, the warm eye contact, the soft waves, and the unforgettable fan interactions. But behind those viral clips, there are stories about overwhelming crowds, sudden tension, and split-second decisions made to keep Jimin safe. And by the end of this video, we're going to explore whether these bodyguard stories reveal something deeper about Jimin's personality, his professionalism, and his unique relationship with the BTS management and security team that always stands just one step behind him. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you're an ARMY who loves in-depth analysis about BTS, Jimin, and the dynamics behind the scenes without unnecessary drama, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications. Here, we break down news and rumors circulating across platforms with context and balance. Now let's get into it. Over the past few months, various Korean media discussions and international fan communities have revisited stories shared by event staff and security personnel who have worked at BTS fan meetings and fan sign events. While names are rarely revealed directly, compiled interviews and online discussions, especially across Twitter, Weverse, and Korean forums, have brought attention to what it's like guarding Jimin specifically. BTS fan events are known for their intense energy. Whether in Seoul or overseas before the group's hiatus period, thousands of ARMYs often gather in tight spaces, creating emotional and logistical challenges. Jimin, as one of the most globally adored members, naturally attracts a surge of attention whenever he appears. According to accounts circulating from staff who handled event security, guarding Jimin comes with two distinct types of moments: heartwarming and humorous interactions, and genuinely serious situations. Let's start with one of the lighter stories. During one fan sign event, as the session ended and the members moved towards their vehicles, the crowd became noticeably louder and more compressed. Fans were waving, calling Jimin's name, and trying to catch one last glimpse. Security reportedly urged him to walk a bit faster because the exit route was becoming crowded. But according to accounts shared in online discussions, Jimin slowed down instead. He wanted to make sure fans further back could still see him wave. One staff member allegedly whispered again that they needed to move quickly. Jimin smiled and softly insisted he just wanted to acknowledge everyone. For the security team, it was both endearing and slightly stressful. That's where the funny but serious dynamic began. Because while Jimin's instinct was to emotionally connect, the bodyguard's instinct was to anticipate risk. Now let's talk about a more serious moment. At an outdoor fan event under hot weather conditions, crowd density reportedly increased rapidly. Some fans in the front were pushed forward due to pressure from behind. Security immediately tightened formation around Jimin. According to stories shared in fan communities, Jimin didn't immediately move to safety. Instead, he briefly paused and appeared concerned, not about himself, but about the fans being pushed. He reportedly asked if everyone was okay before being guided into a secure area. That moment went viral in ARMY circles because it reinforced a narrative fans already believe, that Jimin's empathy sometimes overrides his own comfort. Fan reactions were divided but thoughtful. Many praised him for caring deeply about ARMY's safety. Others reminded fans that maintaining distance and respecting security guidelines is crucial to prevent accidents. And here's the detail that often goes unnoticed. Several event staff stories mention that Jimin frequently makes brief eye contact with security before making small movements, like stepping slightly closer to the crowd or extending a wave longer than planned.
This suggests something important. What looks spontaneous may actually be coordinated. There appears to be silent communication between Jimin and the security team. Subtle nods, quick glances, micro signals that show trust. But wait, the part that's rarely discussed publicly is what happens after the cameras turn off. In certain online accounts, staff have shared that Jimin has personally thanked security members after events, acknowledging their hard work in keeping everyone safe. These quiet gestures rarely get filmed, but they matter. Because in the K-pop industry, the relationship between artists and management teams is often invisible to the public. Yet these teams operate as a daily support system, especially during high-risk, high-density fan gatherings. If we look back at BTS's early debut years, security protocols were far more relaxed. As global fame expanded, so did the scale of events and the level of risk. With that growth came tighter coordination between members and management. In older interviews, BTS members have expressed gratitude toward staff who protect them during chaotic schedules. They've acknowledged that without those teams, events wouldn't run safely. In Jimin's case specifically, his reputation as warm, expressive, and emotionally present with fans sometimes puts him at the center of these delicate balancing acts. On one side, there's his desire to be fully present for ARMY. On the other, there's the responsibility of the security team to anticipate crowd movement, potential incidents, and safety hazards. That tension creates a fascinating dynamic. Body language experts within fan communities have pointed out how Jimin often glances sideways before stepping closer to the stage edge. It's subtle, but consistent. It suggests awareness. It suggests teamwork. And this is where the deeper analysis begins. The stories shared by Bodyguards about funny and serious moments guarding Jimin aren't just entertaining anecdotes. They reveal how global idols must constantly navigate empathy and caution at the same time. Jimin's instinct is connection. Security's instinct is protection. The fact that these two forces operate in harmony speaks volumes about trust. Over the years, fans have noticed Jimin becoming more situationally aware during public appearances. In earlier eras, he sometimes seemed more spontaneous. Now he appears to balance warmth with awareness. Yet one thing hasn't changed. He still tries to make eye contact. He still waves until the last second. He still looks back at the crowd before stepping into the vehicle. And that brings us to one symbolic moment. In a clip that resurfaced online, Jimin is seen walking toward a car after a crowded event. A bodyguard extends an arm to maintain distance between him and the crowd. Jimin briefly looks at the staff member, smiles softly, and gives a small nod before entering the vehicle. It lasts only 2 seconds. But to many armies, that nod represents mutual respect, a silent acknowledgement, a shared understanding that protecting both artists and fans requires teamwork. So now let's ask the bigger question. Are these Bodyguard stories simply behind-the-scenes anecdotes, or do they reveal a deeper layer of how Jimin operates within the BTS management structure, balancing compassion, professionalism, and trust? Does Jimin's empathetic nature make a bodyguard's job more challenging or more meaningful? Let me know what you think in the comments. And if you enjoyed deep dives into BTS dynamics, Jimin's behind-the-scenes moments, and the untold stories that don't always make headlines, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications. Because with BTS, the most powerful stories aren't always on stage. Sometimes they happen just one step behind the spotlight.